Welcome, traveler.
Welcome to Scrub Mode, the podcast that sits at the intersection of gaming and monsters. My name is Julio. I put on this funny voice because of reasons.
And it's me, John. We should have done a pirate voice because this is a fish episode.
Look who decided to show up. I can't hear Ryan yet. There he is. Oops.
We'll just re-record. Just run it back.
What do you mean? I did
There
the
we go.
whole
Now
intro
we can
too.
hear you.
Gosh.
This is all going in.
No, it's not. I've been here the whole time.
He's been here.
You guys
like
are just
Sam
gaslighting
Reich.
everybody.
He's been here the whole time.
He was.
Don't lie. Don't lie to them.
Welcome. I like to think that we're three wackos sitting at like a bus station just yammering.
I mean, that's pretty much what everybody in LA is. So.
Yeah, we're specifically at a crossroads. The crossroads being
We're at the crossroads of three wackos at a bus station.
I mean, what we really are
it's the intersection of gaming and monsters.
three
Exactly.
wackos jabbering in the corner of a game store.
Yeah.
You have unfortunately walked in on the part where they start talking for an hour about a particular something. And now you're stuck here waiting for the next bus, which also conveniently comes in the next hour to 45 minutes.
We sure we don't want to redo the intro? We missed the pirate joke.
I'm having fun.
I'm not sure if this is the sell we want. Anyway.
I don't know, I'm having fun.
I think you're underselling our oversell.
Okay. Well, guys,
welcome to our little podcast.
What is your least favorite ocean creature?
My least
favorite ocean creature.
Yeah,
That's,
who's the
I think they're all pretty
freakiest,
great, honestly.
I don't know. There's a lot of like spooky guys down
I
at the
wouldn't want
bottom
to
of
run
the
into a
Earth's floor.
sperm whale, I guess. A sperm whale, to me, is scary.
They are pretty scary in their size, but I mean, like, if we're thinking about, I don't know, actual, like, horrifying mess,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's some stuff down at the bottom of the Earth's floor, seafloor, that kind of fucks you up.
Yeah. Something about being under a bunch of water really fucks you up.
Yeah.
Much like living under capitalism, it's the pressure that really gets you.
Yeah.
That's what'll kill you.
It's the pressure and isolation. Anyway, we're talking about fish folk. God, D&D's got a lot of fish folk. Much like the lizard people episode, we're just rolling them all together in a fishy katamari.
Yummy.
Did you say fishy calamari?
Fishy katamari, but
Like a Katamari Damacy situation.
I
I love that game.
If I had to think about it, going back to the first question, it's probably jellyfish that fucked me up. Because, like, they're cool, but they're also, like, the most weirdest being probably on this planet.
They
One
have
of the
no
worst,
brains.
not worst, but one of the weirdest beings on this planet.
I was going to say box jellyfish, because not only do they have no brains, but they have 4 eyes, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
They can see, but they don't
They
know
are.
what.
Yeah, they can see.
They can't process what they're looking at, but they can see you.
And they also have, like, one of the worst stings in nature, like one of the most deadly and painful stings.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
those
the thing.
electric
I remember
boxes.
that.
It's like, not only will this kill you, but it's going to hurt the whole time.
And it's going to see you,
As soon,
too.
yeah.
It's going to watch
As soon
you
as it
die.
touches you, you're going to feel all of that venom pour through your body, and it's going to be shit from beginning to end.
We don't belong down there, is what you're saying, John, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to, like, get the ball rolling on fish stuff, but yeah.
I'm just saying, though, jellyfish are fucked up.
They are.
Like, they got this gelatinous looking head, which may or may not contain something that may or may not be a brain. And then their limbs are just covered in spikes that inject deadly poison,
Not
deadly
just,
venom into your body.
Not just spikes, Ryan, but pneumaticis, which is their harpoons. If you trip a spring, it shoots into you.
That's right. There you go.
Wow.
They're spring loaded.
Billions of
Aholia traps.
And then there's like shit like what are they called? zooform, stuff like Man-O-War, where they look like jellyfish. They're actually like 6 different animals that just grouped up together, and they now all live together in groups.
They become symbiotic.
The ultimate throuple, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ultimate triple threat. They can act, dance, and sing.
I thought you were going to say act, dance, and sting, and I was like, shit, that's a great pun.
Almost there. I dropped the ball.
So first up is the Kraken, which we've already done, but I just want to say in D&D 5.5, finally they're a giant squid thing instead of the fucked up weird multi-mouth like fish crocodile they were before. We're always saying they should have been a squid thing. Everyone pictures them as a squid thing. Thank you, D&D 5.5, for just making them a big squid.
Big old squid. Make it easier. Just make them a gigantic squid.
Yeah.
Go back to our Kraken episode. We talked about them. They have their own episode. I just wanted to drop that footnote while we're talking about 5.5. All right. Have you guys ever heard of the Kua-Toa?
Kua-Toa.
This is not that cool Lego shit.
Oh, I see.
It's not a Bionicle?
It's not a Bionicle.
Yeah, you fucked me up, man.
Is it
I was
Polynesian?
going to be like, Bionicle, my favorite.
It does sound Polynesian, but here, I'll drop, nobody ever uses this monster, so I don't blame you for not knowing how to spell it. But it's the fish, one of our many fish people.
Okay.
The first of many.
Are they like, I don't know why, but the goofiest, like, what did they look like? Do you have a picture? I don't know.
The goofiest?
the goofiest
you
idea I have of like a
warrior.
The goofiest idea I have for like a fish person is basically like a, like a fish, but with like He-Man arms and legs like stuck onto it. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
You could certainly make them like that because these guys are somewhere between cosmic horror and dark comedy. Like
Cosmocore.
Yeah. Because we'll get into it. They're blatantly and literally inspired by the Lovecraft's fishmen, the deep ones from Shadow over Hillsmith.
I see.
But also the way they've worked since like 4th edition is like whatever they believe in becomes a god.
Oh,
so they make tulpas?
Yeah, so they make tulpas. Like
they're so powerful.
Like a ship will break and the mast will float down to the bottom with a lady on the front, and they're like, "Oh, it's our new god." And then by believing in it, they will make it a god.
Wow.
Or like a big shoe will drift down to the ocean, and they'll be like, "The shoe is our god."
New god.
Shoe and god. Players are like, "Oh my god, we're getting our ass kicked by a giant sentient shoe." You know?
Hell yeah.
That's goofy.
I think I mean that's some insane superpowers though.
Yeah. It's very orky from 40K, you know what I mean? Like it's neat.
Yeah. It's just they think about it hard enough. They literally think about it hard enough, and it's just like, yep, now this object has sentience and is now a god.
Yeah.
Blessed with godlike powers.
Oh man.
So yeah, I think they're fun. They went through a lot of changes, but now they are specifically deep sea fish people who swear that they used to have a huge empire, but nobody can agree how it fell. Maybe the elves did it, maybe a angry god did it, maybe the mind flayers did it. Everybody blames a different thing. No one can agree what made their empire fall. They're all crazy now.
I see. Okay. Sounds relatable.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great...
In 2025...
It sounds like a great sketch starter.
Yeah.
So they're fun.
Like, oh, we used to be part of a huge kingdom, you know. Oh yeah, which one was that? Oh, it's a little place, you know, out in the ocean.
Yeah.
So what happened to it now? It's gone. How'd it go? Elves.
Really? Because I'm an elf and I don't...
Yeah, it's the elves. And it's like, no, don't listen to him. It was the humans. So well, I know a human guy. Maybe he can tell us. Maybe they destroyed a fish place.
The humans weren't around 100,000 years ago. They couldn't have done it.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, it was clearly... Yeah. And then a third guy comes in. He's like, no, look, I'm from the Empire and I know what happened. It was the mind flayers.
And on and
they're
on.
like, we're kind of getting more believable, but I don't know. Mind flayers seem like they have better things to do than come to the surface.
Yeah. So mechanically, again, we're very happy with the 5.5 book. they have added back in the 4E thing of having multiple versions for each humanoid monster. So we have a basic warrior who's got a shield that's sticky. So if you attempt to hit him and you miss, he can steal your weapon with his gooey shield. I think that's supposed to be scary. I think in practice that's going to be funny as hell.
It is. Yeah. It is funny though. Like just the thought of like, what's our best defense? Well, we're gonna take our shield, which is already a pretty good defense, and then I'm gonna put Elmer's glue all over the front.
You'd think, I was like reading the entry, it's like you'd think it'd be like, oh, is there like a sea anemone on there? Is there like a barnacle, big barnacle that grabs stuff? And they're like, no, it's just covered in sticky goo.
Yeah, we just put glue on it. I took my kid's school paste and I put it on the front.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Look at that. Steals your weapon.
Fuck martial classes.
Yeah, what gave you this great idea? Well, one day I was walking along. My kid was gluing some paper mache stuff. I put my hand on the table on accident. And I got all this confetti on my hand. And I thought, can't hurt to work on swords.
This works with confetti. Probably work on a sword. I don't know why our Kua-Toa are from the Midwest or Canada.
Yeah, not for nothing.
Maybe the Upper Peninsula.
But confetti may be paper, but I think swords stick to it pretty well too.
Finally, the next upgrade up is the whip. Who does not have a whip. He has a crab claw spear that he can use to grab people with a crab claw and a stick.
I think he needs to focus his brand a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got a whip and that?
He has no whip.
His name is Whip and he holds a spear.
His name is
saying
Whip.
He needs to start focusing.
He's a whip like Mitch McConnell. Like he's supposed to whip the other Kua-Toa into shape.
With his spear.
With his spear. He can also
not a whip. That'd be too kicky, right?
No. In 5e, he can also hawk Tua for a ranged attack.
Oh, spit on that thing.
Spit on that thing. And then if you thought his brand wasn't diverse enough, he can also cast Shield of Faith twice a day.
Okay.
Honestly, I kind of like it. Like that, we talk a lot about here's a one-trick monster. This monster has 4 not very good tricks, but they're all funny.
They're all strange.
One is lubricating.
Yeah,
they lubricate, they penetrate, and then they pray to God.
Well, it's Shield of Faith, right? You need protection.
Yeah, they venerate.
You gotta wrap it before you tap it. They venerate. Shit, that's good. All right, so now, confusingly, we have the Kua-Toa boss, who's the monitor, and he has a whip.
Oh,
I'm not joking.
So he's the BDSM guy.
Yeah. The whip does lightning damage, if you're into that.
Wow, okay.
Tingles.
Double the kink.
Yep. And then at the top of the hierarchy, we have our CR6 Archpriest, who can call down lightning 3 times a turn with his strange scepter. He can also cast Shield of Faith, and then he has hold monster and destructive wave.
Okay.
So a good spellcaster who a lot of backline damage, a little utility, I think.
I mean, lightning 3 times in one move? That's crazy.
And also, all Kua-Toa now have True Sight, meaning they can see through illusions and they can see through an invisibility. No problem. Why they have this ability? Not explained. I love it. The weirdest racial I've seen so far. Will not matter until the moment your invisible rogue or your illusion mage just gets completely boned by a fishman with a whip.
Fishman's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
Just throws a net on him.
Oh, no. I hate it.
A whip is such a goofy weapon.
It's so goofy. Indiana Jones made it cool, but it's really hard to There's a reason whips are normally used on, people that you're trying to control and not in a combat situation.
Right.
They're good at hurting. They're not really good at killing.
Right.
They hurt a shit ton.
They hurt a shit ton. It's horrible.
I mean, from what I saw from 12 Years a Slave, that shit's no joke when it hits.
I mean, go look up American, obviously, slave history or Congolese slave history. It is. The pictures are gnarly.
No,
not good.
I mean, again, if you watch If you gone and watched the movie 12 Years a Slave, you'll understand. You did not skip out on how absolutely barbaric that thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right, so we're gonna skip over the real monster and go to the pulp monster here because we have an admitted, here's the inspiration. We wanted to make the deep ones from a Lovecraft story and have you play them. Have you guys ever read A Shadow over Innsmouth, or you know what a deep one is?
I think
I've never read Shadow of Innsmouth.
I have an idea about pop culture.
Yeah.
What's your pop culture idea?
So popular.
I don't know, like they're like zombies, right? That are controlled by Cthulhu or something.
No, they're fish people.
They're just fish people.
So like we're going to talk about Lovecraft right now. So just like blanket racism warning. It's Lovecraft.
Okay. Who are the fish people supposed to be?
Polynesians.
I see.
You see, in The Shadow over Innsmouth, our hero is tracking down some weirdly designed gold jewelry, and he ends up in the decrepit, insular, inbred town of Innsmouth, which used to be a fishing town. Everybody in the town is ugly, with froggy or fishy features, and the host is like, well, this is because they're inbred. But later he learns that one of the town's patriarchs learned how to summon these fish monsters while he was in Polynesia.
Okay.
Specifically what is now Micronesia.
Okay.
So, like, when all the fishing dries up, this guy, Obed Marsh, he's like, well, why don't we summon the fish people?
Okay.
And how that's going to fix anything? We
don't
know.
The fish people are like, here, we will give you gold jewelry from the bottom of the ocean. We will, we can control fish, I guess, so we'll send them into your nets and your town will be rich again.
How much gold is in the ocean, you think?
Probably a lot, right? I don't know, though.
I feel like there's some untapped resources at the bottom of the ocean.
Is that the metaphor they're going with?
I
don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, man.
Again, Lovecraft wanted to be a scientist, like specifically an astrologer, but he found science and math classes too hard, so he gave up and became a NEET instead. So I wouldn't trust any of his science opinions.
He's like, he had the spark for a moment when he was a child.
I understand, because I wanted to be, I think we all had a phase where we wanted to be like a paleontologist or something, but you're like, oh my god, I'm so tired of spreadsheets.
You're just like, oh, science is amazing. It helps innovate so much new things within our life. And then he started learning it, and he was like, fuck, I don't know what any of this shit means.
I know I work in science communication now, so maybe this is funny previous site, but like chemistry still fucks me up. I still have to go to our science advisors, and even for basic chemistry stuff, being like, "Is this do what it says it do? Do I understand this right?
Is this right?
Chemistry scares me.
Did I write this out?
I feel like
correctly?
The stakes are high.
yeah. And it's like if you show me an electron valence chart, I'll just die. I did tutor kids about that once, and I used a lot of like, well, what do you think that means? So I didn't know.
You did a whole bunch of like, let's turn this on them. Okay, you answer me.
Yeah, you answer me. So if you don't know the answer, where do you look in the book? That's right.
Yeah.
You go to the chapter and
you read it out.
You read the problem. Okay, so this says it's But enough about how I shouldn't have been teaching people chemistry. We have to talk about cool fish monsters that are unfortunately kind of horny and kind of racist.
Don't worry about it.
The fish people are like, yeah, just give us your women. We'll take care of all the problems.
I figured that was the price.
So the women are given to the deep ones, and the deep ones get the women in this town pregnant.
Of course.
And they give birth to a normal human kid.
And a fish child.
After the shape of watering, but as they get older, they get more and more fishy until... around the age of 50 or so, they turn into fish people, and they go and they live in the ocean with the rest of the deep ones.
I see. That's how they get them. They're like, look, he gave birth to a very healthy baby boy. And then the human wife is just all like, oh, thank gosh. It didn't turn out to be a fish. And then once they hit like 20, it's all like, hey, where did those fins come from?
Yeah, big glassy eyes, blobfish-ass
Why are you turning horrifying?
Scaly,
they're like
skin.
blobfishy, right? The way they look.
I mean, the description is pretty vague. They're like froggy, fishy people, but like Lovecraft talks about them having big noses, so I kind of picture a blobfish if you're asking me to picture a fish man with a big nose, you know?
Blobfish.
Why does he always specify a big nose?
Why does Lovecraft specify?
What's up with him?
It's more about, like, the eyes here and the lack of necks, but yes.
I see.
Just because they're fish doesn't mean they can't have necks.
So, I will say, this is probably one of Lovecraft's better stories, because up until the, like, inbreeding horror comes in, the real scary thing is, like, a dude going into a town, and then the townspeople realize he's an outsider and, like, try to trap him in a hotel room and kill him. Like, there's a good action scene in the middle, very, you know, don't go into a small town kind of horror.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
don't go into the weird small town, guys.
Yeah.
What is it about the weird small town?
I don't. In this case, fishmen.
Small town America.
The twist on the story is that the narrator finds out that he's distantly related to Obed Marsh, and that he too will turn into a fish person one day.
Oh
no! Which, like, obviously, this Lovecraft himself said that this story is about miscegenation, i.e., the mixing of races.
Oh, okay.
So, not cool. But me, as a kid, when I read this, my read was that it is about the fear of getting, like, inherited diseases passed down from your parents, which Lovecraft also experienced. Like, both his parents died of in the asylum. One of them from syphilis. One of them from, like, some sort of congenital thing. So it's like, you know,
rough.
There's some mental illness stuff in my family's history. I kind of vibe with that. The racism stuff went right over my head.
Yeah, I see.
But that was when you were young. Now you're older.
Then I went and read Lovecraft's letters where, you know, on his deathbed, he's like, I'm so sorry I was racist. I'm so sorry I was an elitist. I see now that socialism is the way. But no interbreeding still. I think miscegenation's awful.
I mean, I can't blame him if he's not, like, into it, I guess, but still,
I can and I will. Like,
yeah,
you should let people get love is love. Let people get married.
Love is love, but if you don't love, that doesn't mean you gotta stop other people from doing it.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You could stop others.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? I did have this thought a while ago of, like, this. You know, there are sex positive people.
Yeah.
The existence of sex positive people, like, infers the existence of sex negative people.
Isn't that incels?
Isn't that
maybe like yeah?
I think is it
certain Christian sex? Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know. Like, actually, yeah, a little bit Christian people, because they're like I'm
just thinking of, like, not in the sense of, like, chastity or anything, but the idea of, like, just not liking sex at all.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is, like,
I think they're called asexuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These people are real. They're cool. But that's more like...
no, they're not exactly negatives, though.
Yeah, it's like, that's neutral. It's just...
It's a neutral thing.
It's
kind of like being sex...
None for
kind
me,
of like
thank
being
you.
sex positive, I think.
None for me, thank you.
Well, like, the implication of a sex positive also implicates a sex negative and a sex neutral, which asexuals are. They drop into. But a sex negative, I guess there's someone... It would be someone who, like, vehemently refuses sex, right?
I'm picturing those guys who show up inside of cons with, like, God hates F-slur flags that say, if you fornicate, if you listen to metal music, if you like rap, if you play video games, if you have fun, you are going to hell.
I know earlier you said incels, but I can't stop just thinking about, like, the long form of the word, which is just involuntary celibate.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, they're just people who just like
want to have sex but can't.
Yeah, they just haven't gotten around to having sex. Like,
I mean,
whether
that's
it's something that's
literally
gotten in
means,
the way.
but that's not what it means.
Yeah.
Like you get this is.
I mean, I know that's, like, again, the internet has morphed another term into something else to be derogatory to a certain type of people that nobody likes.
Pissed me off, you know?
But it's just like.
Well, I mean, by their own admission, I mean, I don't want to get targeted, but by their own admission now, they're involuntarily celibate because, like, they have too few inches of forehead. Or society treats women too well.
Some weird reasons, right?
You know, it was before it was like it was an adaptation of the word that was used to insult a certain brand of people, and then those certain brand of people then took in the word because they felt that they were that, but in a different way. And now that's taken a second formation into what they are now, which is like people who blame the society's views that prevents them from having sex. And I don't know. I just like to think of like the first way I heard of it, which was like it was like a group of like self-help women that was just like, we just never have the time to get around to sex, like we work too much, or at least that's what I heard.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That's the origin.
Yeah,
like that's the story that I heard, that it just started with like it was a group of women that was helping each other because it was just like, look, we just work too much. And we've become involuntary celibates, where it's like we don't mean to not have sex, but we just don't have.
We're
the
just
time
so
to
damn
have sex.
busy.
All right, I'm putting the transition ball on you. You figure out how to get from there back to fish people.
You know,
Right.
it's cool how fish can like change gender sometimes.
Yeah, right. Isn't that insane? How like seahorse males are the ones who go through the pregnancy.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
fish that
yeah.
do mouth brooding, where they carry all their eggs in their mouth. A lot of male.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I'm glad we don't do that.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be horrifying.
That'd be constantly gargling.
Well, not only that, but like regurgitating a whole baby.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I'm
you know?
really glad that our
I
situation.
mean, in the case of
isn't
the
like
fish,
that.
it's easy because their babies come out like 2 millimeters
Yeah.
like, long. But like for us, we get like a whole 8 pounds 9 ounce baby. You have
Horrifying.
to do a mouth like birth. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Ooh, anyway, mermaids. Did you know mermaids are in D&D?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
kidding me?
I
Not just
assume.
Disney?
They're
I thought they would be like called sirens or something.
no, they're 5e. They're like the Magic the Gathering mermaids. Like their 5e
Oh,
stat
Merfolk.
block
The
has
Merfolk.
almost nothing on it, but their 5.5 stat block is actually pretty cool.
Can they breathe underwater?
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
breathe
right?
underwater. They got a spear.
For like ever, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just
Yeah,
live
they're a
down there?
mermaid. Of course.
Okay.
all
that
these
makes
guys
sense.
can.
Okay.
I'm a merman, Dad. A merman.
I know I am also a merman.
Ah,
We're
Then
mermen.
they have a pretty cool new stat block called a wave bender, like a water bender. Every
do
time
they- Cool.
they have a ranged magical attack that does cold damage and knocks you down.
okay.
That's dope. That's dope.
A couple water-based utility spells, and when you punch them, they now have it's save or suck, or they deal 46 cold damage, push you 60 feet away.
46 cold damage?
4d6, not
Oh,
4d6.
sorry.
Just
For a moment, I was like, what level are these mermaids coming in at? What's their CR rank,
It's like
dude?
I'll write this one down, but it's like CR3. Like again, it's a humanoid
Okay.
minion caster class. But this one sounds really fun because you just knock your players all around.
Yeah.
That's
They're
cool.
the push you like a bully kind of enemy.
Yeah. So that
Why you
brings us
tripping?
to
Why you tripping?
the weirdest mermaid story I've ever heard, which is the Tabib al-Bahr, which is
The one? The who?
That's a little Arabic. That's the sea doctor.
Oh.
So do you remember Jabir al-Hayyan from our homunculus episodes, the big Arabic alchemist?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So this is allegedly one of his alchemy adventures. He really wanted to get this
Oh.
magic item from the sea doctor.
Yes.
Allegedly, all the sea
Wow.
doctors, kind of like Vision, have a magic yellow crystal in their heads.
That's dope.
Yeah, and this crystal can cure any injury or any disease.
Okay.
Very cool. Okay.
And also, it can turn silver into gold, which seems less useful than turning lead into gold, but I guess you gotta start somewhere.
Turn silver into gold.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Gold's more valuable than silver, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So it's a
Okay.
step up, but silver's, like, not exactly easy to get either.
I guess that's true, yeah. I already have all this money. I can make it even more, I guess. It's like trading $1 for like $5.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would be easier to turn pocket. It would be nice if you could turn pocket lint into $5, but $1 into $5 isn't bad, you know.
I see. Yeah.
So this dude, he gets some sailors. Our alchemist Jabir, he gets some sailors, And apparently off the quote-unquote unknown island of Sindiat, they throw a net and they catch a sea doctor.
Ah.
And what is unfortunately going to be a theme for this episode, a recurring theme, everyone agrees she is hot.
Oh, of course.
We got more Shape of Water, guys.
I was gonna guess. I was gonna stop you before you started.
Lady.
I was like, let me guess. The mermaid is incredibly sexy.
Yes.
And someone eventually has sex with it.
Yes.
You haven't seen... I really want to watch this movie with one of you guys, or both of you guys, The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Oh,
with Willem Dafoe. With Willem Dafoe.
You just want to see Willem Dafoe jerk it?
Yeah. There's way more
black and white.
masturbation. There's way more masturbation in that movie than I thought there was going to be.
Okay.
But then now I think about it, on a lighthouse,
what else would you do?
What else to do?
What else could there be? Yeah.
You go upstairs, you change a light bulb, you come back downstairs, you beat it a little bit. You have breakfast with your roommate, and then you beat it. You lower bunk
Rough.
You wait. You know what? Okay, you wait until he walks into town, then you beat it for like the 85 minutes that you have until they walk back.
I feel like I would set up some sort of system.
Yeah, for real.
Because you don't go into town. That's the whole point of the lighthouse. You have two guys on guard for a reason.
Yeah. The Lighthouse. Oh man, it's a crazy movie. I recommend it. I guess.
Isn't it Eggers? Like
No,
I really like Nosferatu. So
yeah. It's a mind fuck towards the end too. It's crazy.
They get
There's a
cabin
mermaid.
fever.
There's a mermaid in the lighthouse.
There is.
Oh,
yeah. There's a mermaid.
Are they able to see into the future with their head diving?
Nah.
Now remember, this one
She
heals.
just kind of flops around.
Jabir uses her healing crystal on a guy who has torticollis, which I didn't know what it is, but apparently it's when your neck muscles are so stiff they force your head to turn to the side.
Oh wow!
Seems like it'd be hard to be a sailor with that, but the magic rock rubbing works.
It's okay. He was like, they just ask him what's on the right side of the boat at all times.
Yeah, they gotta make sure that he is on the port side or the starboard side.
Yeah.
They put him on the crow's nest, and they're like, "What do you see up there?" Water.
I don't want to make fun of anybody who actually has this condition. Like, apparently, I looked it up. Apparently, you can treat it with like muscle relaxants and Botox now. But like, I definitely have some mornings where I'm like, oh yeah, I feel that. I could use some Tabib al-Bahr rock.
Okay, but what about the natural remedies? Like, what if you just give him like a massage every day?
Maybe. Doesn't sound bad.
Yeah.
Regardless,
give him some deep tissue. Just
yeah.
Regardless, the Tabib cured this guy's torticollis, and you know how these stories go. One of the sailors fell in love with her.
Yeah.
Jabir let them live in the cabin forever, and eventually she became pregnant and gave birth to a human boy who was normal.
Of course.
Except for he had a shiny forehead.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
He is Lisan al-Gaib. He will tell us of the future. He will show us where the spices are.
Rocking that Charles Barkley Grammys look. It's the all gold. Anyway, like at this point, everyone was like, "Okay, well, she's in love with that guy back at this point, I think, and they have a kid, so she's not going to escape. We can let her out of the tiny cabin we've imprisoned her in."
Guess what? She escapes.
Well, not for a while. She like hangs out until the boy grows up and helps on the ship. But then, yeah, she does escape.
She dips.
She jumps back into the ocean.
Oh, whoa!
Uh-huh. What was that?
And then the story gets weird.
Hello?
Eventually, they sail into a storm, and they see her on the surface of the water, kind of waving and laughing at them.
Okay.
And they're like, "We're gonna die. Please save us." And then she turns into a giant fish, big enough to stretch from one end of the sea to the other, and everyone thinks she's gonna eat them, but she just does a big chugs and drinks enough seawater that lowers the level, and the storm goes away.
Whoa! She does a Badlands chug.
Yeah, she does a Badlands chug.
Yeah. She just takes up half of the ocean.
Yeah.
Wow. What a hero.
And then her
See,
son.
that last show's for like his current iteration is incredible.
Maybe
But he
he's
was
just
a mermaid in the past.
Maybe he's just a Tabib al-Bahr. Maybe we don't know. We just don't know. Anyway, then her
He
son
just
jumps
finds
into the
human
ocean,
society so interesting.
a la the 13th Wish, and they swim away happily forever.
Yay!
Yay, hooray.
Yeah.
And so his alchemy adventures continue.
And so his alchemy adventure... Oh, yeah, sorry. He does then capture 2 more and kills one of them, so that he can get the rock. Which seems pretty fucked up after he just had...
Yeah, right? After they spent so much time with
one of them became your boat
got
doctor.
to know them, have a kid, you know? Yeah. And he's like, all right, I forgot, we need a gem?
So we actually need another one, so...
Yeah, can we let's go around and find a second one.
Let's send the guy who fell in love with the first one.
Yeah, and then
So this is like an alchemy textbook, so it's not clear if this is meant to be taken metaphorically or literally, but there you go.
He's like, clearly this guy got some kind of ocean charisma.
Got the ocean
We
ridge.
should leave him at the next port for a while.
It's crazy how ancient history is like that. Like, is it a metaphor? Did this actually happen?
Yeah. That's called epistemology. It's really hard. How do we know what we know?
Yeah.
I was thinking more of Commander Riker from Fact or Fiction.
We made it
Did
up.
this really happen? Did a man really have sex with a mermaid and create a bald-headed child who's really shiny?
No, we made it up. Wrong.
Our writers wrote that.
Got you.
No, you're wrong.
I love that show. That show is so great.
I love that show and I love that compilation.
I was really pissed off by that show because you'd be like, which story is real? The one where a kid walks into a closet and disappears, the one where a monster comes out from under the bed and eats a kid, or the one where a woman sees a milk bottle moving, and you're like, probably the milk bottle one. You're like, there's the one where a kid walks into a closet and disappears. You're like, what the do you mean?
Explain.
Nope.
Elaborate further, Riker.
I gotta Google this now. I can't find shit. What do you mean this is real?
If Picard would hear, he would be all like, "You've been in the simulation room."
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's just make that canon, where it's like the whole situation of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, is just Riker going in and then living out his like.
You can't. The nature of the holodeck means that you can't disprove that.
Exactly. He goes into the holodeck for about
and he pretends
an hour
that he's
to
on
a
this
day.
show from the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just like, I want to be the host of a television show where I give 3 weird stories and say one of them's real.
And also, the crooner that everybody seems to love, he cannot show up. Or is that Deep Space Nine? I think I'm thinking of Vic Romano from Deep Space Nine, but I'm not the biggest
You might be
Star
like
Trek
mixing
person.
things.
Anyway, I got our next D&D fish monster is boring on paper, but fun to play. This is the Merrow, which used to be a sea ogre. Now it's a big evil mermaid.
Big evil mermaid.
Okay.
Their whole thing is that they have a harpoon and they use that to spear people and then drag them into melee so they can bonk them.
Oof.
I see.
So this
do they just bonk them with their hand, or do they have a club in the other hand?
You could give them whatever they want. They got a claw, they got a bite, This is really fun. This is like their one trick, but it's really fun to actually do, because if your party is like walking through somewhere, like a swamp or something, or like they're on a boat and they're not expecting to, get a harpoon through the chest and then dragged into water, like they don't have protection spells up, like you can fucking drown them because this is a big strong monster. It really it adds a timer.
Ooh. Like they're just ripped?
yeah, they're ogre-sized mermaids.
Oh, hell yeah. Are they mermaids or merman?
They're mer people.
Okay.
Mer people.
They used to be
Merfolk.
mermaids that worshipped evil gods and got mutated by chaos in 5th edition.
They're merfolk.
And in 5.5, they're like their own separate evil species that look identical to mermaids, but evil and big.
Oh, I see.
Let's see.
They're full
I had
of
ideas
evil
for
and they're
merfolk.
purple.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like anglerfishy, like merfolk.
Yes.
Like imagine a
yeah.
merfolk, but like with the like characteristics of an anglerfish.
Have you?
Like a big ugly anglerfish face.
I'll find it, or I'll see if I can put it in the show notes. Have you seen that cosplayer who does mermaid stuff? And she did like a deep sea eel mermaid, where she put a bunch of glowing balls on her mermaid thing.
I think so.
It looks really spooky. I'll find it for you, and I'll put it in the show notes.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Oh, man.
More deep sea mermaids, more bioluminescent mermaid. Like, that's my big punch up. Is like,
I like the idea too of like the male version of those would be like smaller than the female.
Yeah.
And they would be like little spermy guys that just kind of swim around.
Yeah, they eventually. I mean, like so famously with the most deep sea anglerfish, right? The male bites onto the female and then releases an enzyme, so he melts into her skin until eventually he's just a pair of nuts.
Yeah,
hanging off the side, so that she's like, "Look, there's not enough food for us. I just need your nuts."
Yeah.
Again,
so
the
can you
ocean's
just
weird.
dissolve? So can you do your enzyme thing and then melt away and then just leave your?
Then all you got to do is like climax for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yeah. Just melt into the flesh and become one.
Then you're just your only
be part
your
of the collective and die.
Your only purpose is to just jizz.
Yeah, your only purpose is to leave your balls.
While we're on weird deep sea stuff, have you seen the like hexagon patterns that show up at the bottom of the ocean? We still don't know what makes them. We found fossils of them since the Devonian, so we're not like. So people are like, is this some sort of weird gas bubble escaping? Is this some sort of worm? Is this some sort of weird footprint? We don't know what it is, but it's been happening on Earth for literally billions of years. It's a still unsolved mystery.
I hate that we don't know.
Yeah, right?
You said it's a hexagon pattern?
Yeah, very Lovecraftian.
How does that happen?
We don't know.
It just appears, We don't know yet.
They just show up, huh?
Will we ever know?
It's called a paleodiction, apparently. And we still don't know.
I need a link.
Is it one of those situations where it's just, I don't know, where like, oh, this is just one of the natural shapes of nature?
Well, we find them in mud in the modern day, so we don't know if it's...
Paleodiction is a trace fossil, usually interpreted to be a boro, which appears in the geologic marine record beginning in the Precambrian, early Cambrian, and in the modern ocean environments. Paleodiction was the first described by Giuseppe Meneghini in 1850. The trace of the origin of the trace fossil is enigmatic, and numerous candidates have been proposed.
Like here's some modern ones. Like here's not fossils shit we found.
This is actual like living proof.
Yeah, well, we don't know what it is, right? Like here's a whole scientific paper on it that I'll throw into the thing. We don't know what's making these, but something has been making them since the Precambrian.
And they're just impressions, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that's crazy.
There's only one thing to do.
We have to send a robot down there and dig around.
Yeah,
because if there's
still
only
one thing left to do. Something is going around making cool little hexagons like fucking sea bees. Like,
can't rule it out.
Yeah. All you got to do is send something down there and put a finger in one of the holes. See what comes out, man.
Can't rule it out.
Wow.
It does scare me that there's something down there.
Yeah, it makes my imagination go wild. Because, like, even if it's just a weird worm, we have a weird worm that's been doing this since
forever.
Since the Precambrian. That's Lovecraft shit. That's ancient. That's so old.
I think what would be the worst is if it was some kind of like eel or fish creature, and just for some reason they have, digit-like appendages that they just shove into the ground.
And they just draw.
Well, it can't be that, because we're seeing them in the Precambrian, which means that's before fish evolved. Like, that's before backbones evolved.
Wow.
That's before Jaws evolved. It's something so incredibly ancient.
What is out there making
I bet
the
it's
difference?
a worm. I bet it's a wheel that's like a hexagon.
It's possible. We've seen some fucked up shit.
Around.
Oh, I love the ocean. It's so weird. It's so cool.
It's cool.
Some super bacteria that is shaped like a hexagon.
That's also possible because bacterial mats form that do weird shit. So we just don't know.
Yeah, I see.
And it slowly imprints into the ground and then dissipate.
Yeah. It's possible. We just don't know. It's crazy.
It's the worst, man.
It has existed longer than any other animal that we know of, give or take, basically. Like,
the mind is running wild.
And it's still doing its shit now, and we just don't know what it is.
What if it's some old god that's invisible to everything, and like its feet has like hexagon imprints that dig into the ground?
That's literally a Lovecraft story. You're literally doing the old ones, like or the Great Race of Yeth. Like it's literally
What if it's not even in the ocean? It just has really long legs, and it just like.
Unlikely, but possible, because we know shit like siphonophores exist that can be. Let me fact check myself. These are jellyfish-like animal that can string. How big? Biggest siphonophore.
I think we're going to get to the bottom of this, guys.
So the biggest siphonophore is 150 feet long. The Preya W.
Oh, W.
Look at this fucked up shit.
Are you going to show me a giant?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
It's a giant jellyfish. It's a giant.
That looks rad as fuck.
It's a giant. Is
that a heart at the end of this weird chain?
No, it's like again, it's a big jellyfish. It's not a heart.
This is a picture,
yeah, it's horrifying, but it looks like a heart.
Yeah, here's a real but smaller species. Or that one's also real, but obviously it's harder to photograph. Like these things are horrifying.
Wow.
They can get longer than whales. But they're just little guys.
Shit. They look like they're like the worst thing to run into ever.
Like they're pretty harmless. They're just weird and spooky.
I see.
I find it strange that when you look at their like weird gelatinous,
head. I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, like their translucent flesh. They look like a weird 3D model.
Yeah.
Like untextured.
Like, look at this one from this GIF. I'm sure you've seen this around. That's a Lovecraft monster.
Yeah, no, that's a creature that you don't want to fucking mess with.
Anyway.
It looks like a walking, what do they call it? Like circulatory system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
It looks like a bundle of small and large intestines that are coming at you.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
I feel like that's the kind of thing you don't want to get caught up in because, like, when it passes through, you're like, whatever went through is a skeleton now.
Yeah. Well, they're not very big around. They're just very long. So they're mostly eating like little fish and marine snow and stuff.
I see.
But
they're still, they can be 150 feet long.
Yeah.
That's a big animal.
Uh-huh.
Anyway. I don't know how we go back to mer people after talking about how cool real life is, but
yeah,
it'd
be cool if if there were like a race of sea people who were, I don't know how cool that would be actually.
Jellyfish people, flumps, are we
like mer people, like merfolk?
Yeah,
who are just like
moi folk
hanging out,
All right, so I'm just gonna hard pivot here. Our last entry is the Sahuagin, which are another evil fish person. They got big, scary jaws. They can telepathically talk to sharks. They hate lizard men. They hate merfolk. They hate sea elves. They really hate air breathers.
They hate everybody.
Air breather.
They all have maybe the best little racial ability I've ever seen, which is just blood frenzy, which is if you don't have full HP, they get to reroll hits on you. They have advantage.
That is pretty fucking
If you're missing
great.
1 HP, twice the chance to crit.
Oh, what's that? Is that a scratch I smell on you?
Paper cut?
Oh.
Just stub your toe?
Do I sense that little bit of sanguine wine on you? Allow me to make another hit.
Again, glow up in 5.5. They now have a caster version called a priest who has spectral shark jaws, which is a ranged attack that does force damage. Almost nothing in the game resists force damage, so that's pretty good.
That's cool.
And if it smells blood on you, it'll cast it again.
Yeah. I mean, it's got advantage. It's not melee attacks, it's just attacks. They get advantage. If you're at less than 1 HP, they get advantage to ghost shark you.
Wow.
Die.
They can cast hold person twice a day. So hey, if you're underwater, you're fucked. You don't have like water breathing active or gills. They can just hold you underwater for a minute and you'll drown. And now
minute, so like 10 rounds.
Yeah. They now also can cast healing spells like a priest should be able to, and they can do it as a bonus action. So this is like a really good monster. This is basically everything I want out of like a shaman or a priest sort of enemy Gribben minion character. And then there's like a boss version who has a weird gimmick of if you hit him, his blood, he has alien blood, he has acid blood.
Oh, acid blood.
It burns you, and then also it reduces your speed, and also every fiend, which like demons, Sahuagin, you know, stuff like that, they all know where you are automatically. They can all smell the blood on you.
Whoa. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get dogpiled by shark men and sharks.
There he is. Get him.
Get him.
Rattle him, boys.
Yeah.
It would be cool to set like a D&D setting, like at sea, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen One Piece games. I've seen totally undersea, like steampunk games. Like, there's a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
And
yes, you're my bird.
Yes. Don't go screaming.
He's fine.
Honestly, it never shows up on the actual recording, so it'll probably be fine.
Hopefully. I think I hear it.
So this...
We edit birds out.
We do. Because birds aren't real.
If we can.
They are not.
Call back to last episode.
Yeah. We won't create a Bitcoin.
We won't pull you in with pranks and do some legit good in the community before buying Enron and then doing an Enron. In a rug... Anyway. Have you guys ever heard of the Arragousets?
The Arragousettes.
Yes,
no.
This is a monster from...
sounds like a wonderful band name for an all-female band with a theme of Argonauts.
So these are the creatures from Guernsey in folklore. Guernsey is the biggest island between England and France. So that's why it sounds kind of French.
Okay.
I'll take it.
So, once again, I'm so sorry. We're going to have a Shape of Water in the story.
Yay!
Yay? Okay.
Yay!
Look, I mean, like, we've had Shapes of Water through, like, almost 100% of every story.
Yeah.
I think the only ones it didn't happen in was when, like, Bigfoot and his gang was attacking
specifically today, almost every piece of lore I could find with fish people that aren't the Kraken, people are like, are they kind of hot? Is it just me?
I mean, that's it's the siren song. You know,
I think they kind of fuck, don't they?
Time
immemorial.
Yeah,
fish women and human men will forever slap uglies.
Well, Ryan, this is the reverse because in this story, one day a shepherd by the name of Jean Lecoq woke to the sound of clamor coming out of a place called the Fairies Hollow. Turns out an army of fishy fairies, called the Arragousets, were streaming out of the ocean and streaming out of the hollow, clad in weapons and armors and shells, and they had one simple demand.
Ooh.
We want human wives.
Oh boy.
See, instead of a dude, it's a...
So it's hot mermen.
Hot mermen.
That have come to claim our human women.
Yes.
Literal Shape of Water thing.
Yes.
Bunch of Abe Sapiens.
Yeah, a bunch of
Abe Sapiens came out here.
Clad in weapons and armor made of shells, and they were like, we really want a hot human wife. And you might be asking yourself, why did they do this? And you see that's because the Arragouset king did marry a human woman, and she was so cool and so funny and so charming, it became a fad. All the had to get them a human wife.
They're like, oh my goodness, the king's wife is so funny and cool. Like, I can't believe he managed to meet someone who was so good to him.
Exactly.
And human wives are actually, they seem the most attractive, which made, of course, the Arragouset women.
There is not a word from the Arragouset women in here. I have no idea what they're...
I feel like if we tapped into Vogue, Arragouset Vogue magazine, we would have gotten a good representation of like how they felt. Or like Arragouset Cosmopolitan, like they were like they're like, how do I pleasure my Arragouset man?
Yeah.
To not look at you and women.
So, as you might expect, the people of Guernsey were like, no, you cannot take our wives and daughters to be your wives. And so the fairies were like, that's cool, we'll just kill you all. And so...
Well, you left us with plan B, and what's that? Murder.
So they did. They killed every man on the island of Guernsey.
Damn. When was this?
The mythic past.
The mythic past?
Yeah.
What time is long ago? Far, far away, long
exactly.
ago.
Yes.
Vaguely that time where we once lived.
The fairies killed so many people that the ocean was stained for red with blood for days.
I see.
That's metal.
The only people who survived were a boy, a boy, and an old priest of who hid in Saint Andrew's Parish. Specifically, they hid in an abandoned oven for years. Not sure how that works.
For years.
And
wow.
They in an oven?
Yeah.
They're just like, you know what? This is probably the safest for us. And then the priest was like, okay, boy, I need you to go out there and get bread.
I don't have to leave and get bread if we live in the oven.
No. You have to go out there and get bread.
I'm not going to go out there.
You have to. This bread's getting very stale.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors?
No rock, paper, scissors. I'm like hitting 40 and that's like 80.
Well, I'm 8 and that's like 17 in the past years, so, you know.
Well, that means you're perfect to go out there and find bread.
And so I guess the argument went for several years.
Right.
So, good news. The Arragousets did not drag the human women underwater. They stayed on the island of Guernsey, and apparently they treated all their women excellently. They were doting husbands, and apparently really good lovers too.
Well, that's
the women were like, you know what? Maybe not the worst thing that's happened to us.
Yeah. These
guys,
guys,
the rivers run blood. I mean, the oceans ran red blood for like a few days, but
I'm not stoked about my dad being murdered, but like. This guy's treating me better than Mythic Past patriarchy would, so I guess that's pretty cool. Anyway, so
you lose some, you win some.
Yeah.
You take the good with the bad, you know? You lose a father figure, you gain a husband that treats you like a princess.
So one day, I guess their time was up, and all of the Arragousets disappeared. They just woke up one morning and they were all gone. What do you mean
time is up?
One morning, they woke up and they were all gone.
Oh, wow.
But because they're fairies, they're shorter than normal people. And because they're sea fairies, they're good in the ocean. So the people of Guernsey are excellent sailors, and they're all kind of short. And so it's said they are like that because they have the sea fairy DNA in them. And, you know, every once in a while, an Arragouset helps them out. Like, if they're drowning in the ocean, they'll take them to shore, or they'll scare fish into their nets. You know, they still love their descendants.
Of course.
The end.
Oh, hey, that's my cousin's kid. That's your nephew? Yeah, let's give him a few fish.
Yeah, let's help him out. He's a good boy. Not like the other men we killed in the mythic past.
See, now that's a man. Other than the men on that island that we slaughtered.
Yeah.
Gotta love the mythic past. Oh, man.
Exactly, right?
There's also stuff like the sea monk and the sea bishop that we're just out of time for, where people are like, as above, so below.
Sea bishop.
The funniest part about the story is the guy who wrote about the sea monk had a rival, and the guy was like, oh, sea monk? Well, I saw a sea bishop.
Whoa, shit.
And why that first guy didn't go like, well, I saw a sea pope, I don't know.
He was immediately cornered. He was like, sea priest? Not as strong as a bishop.
Nope. That's sea people. I guess we got any quick punch-ups. Make them jellyfish people. Make them deep sea people.
Yeah,
give them shell armor.
Make the mermen
bioluminescence, dog.
weird little spermy monsters that kind of latch on to the female
Yeah.
and dissolve to a pair of gonads.
Make the dangerous mer people with big anglerfish glass needle teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? There's a really good movie with Kristen Stewart that was basically that. It's like a research station on the bottom of the ocean is being attacked by horrible deep sea mermaids. It was like Alien Under the Ocean. It was pretty good.
I gotta see that.
Yeah.
That sounds
great.
familiar.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got for you guys. We're running low on time.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
man, thank
not
you, John.
time.
Yeah. Like the
Thank you so
Arragouset,
much,
it's
John.
our turn to disappear.
I guess so. It's the end of the show. Oh man, thank you for listening, listener. Man, this is a fun one. I got lost.
Listener. We'd like to thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank you for giving us 5 stars if you did.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
We'd like to thank our
one of the most helpful things you can do.
good friend Jesse Sanders for creating our song.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. Yeah, I guess we'll see y'all next time.
One more thing. Fuck ice.
Yes?
Oh yeah, yeah, fuck ice.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey man, like do what you got to, but do it safely.
Yeah,
Protest with all your might. Don't let them provoke you, but do not be pushovers.
Yeah. Stay off
Yeah.
of bridges. Don't get kettled.
yeah, for real. Oh man, be safe out there.
Keep safe on the main streets.
Yeah,
Take care of each other.
yeah, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.